stations face.
Open dialogue and collaboration among these stakeholders fosters trust and a deeper understanding in dealing with emerging challenges and opportunities.
As long as you are a trusted trader, then you should be able to benefit from some of these benefits that come with technology.
The issue of infrastructure critical, and countries can't go it individually. We need to have a pool to develop the infrastructure at the borders.
So what we're trying to do is provide the transparency and the visibility into the decisions that the artificial intelligence has made.
Marks a significant milestone, one that will be remembered in history for its far-reaching impact on the economic development of our nation. The role of KRA in trade facilitation and border security cannot be overstated. We are entrusted with the responsibility not only to protect our borders, but also to create a conducive business environment that fosters growth and economic development within Kenya and across the East African region. At KRA, we are committed to facilitating trade and ensuring that all stakeholders, businesses, traders, and governments benefit from an efficient and secure trading environment. This in turn contributes to the prosperity of the East African region and beyond. This project will ensure our borders are secure, our business environment remains conducive, and society at large is protected. I would therefore like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the World Bank for their unwavering support that has seen this project become a reality. In addition to providing the necessary funding for the project, the World Bank has invested significant effort to ensure that the facility meets both global and local standards of excellence. Notably, that this facility will be fully solar powered, utilizing 10 hours of direct sunlight and 10 hours of solar battery backup. In terms of responsible waste disposal, the facility will implement biodigesters which use biological processes to break down waste, allowing it to be reused in gardening. In partnership with the Kenya Forest Service, we have also planted over 500 indigenous seedlings at each site, contributing to
Ladies and gentlemen, may I kindly request that we stand as we welcome our chief guest, our KRA chairman and the directors, the KRA leadership, and we will remain standing for the Kenyan national anthem and the East African anthem.
The mics, please. Put them on, the microphones. Mashariki, tuwezeshe tuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu, jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuwajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
May we give thanks to God. Father, we thank you for you are a good and a faithful God. We thank you for this summit that's being held in this year 2025. And we commit it to your able hands, Lord. We commit each and every plan and each and every session and each and every person who is having a session to your able hands, Lord. We pray that indeed you may lead, guide, and direct us. Give us clarity, give us a good flow, and guide us in all that we do. We commit the leadership of this nation to your able hands, Lord. And we commit each one of us unto you, Lord. We pray that you may start with us and be with us for the 2 days and in everything that we do. We worship and we honor you in Jesus' name. Amen.
You may take your seats, choir.
Tunasherehekea miaka 30 kushirikiana tukijenga Kenya. Tunasherehekea miaka 30 ya kuwawezesha wananchi kote Kenya. Kusanya ushuru wetu ni kazi yake na mipaka Kenya. Biashara zetu
Wow, a round of applause for the Kenya Revenue Authority Choir. Let's give them a better applause. Haven't they sung amazing? They composed that song. They composed that song to celebrate KRA at 30. They are comprised of KRA staff, and thank you very much. Chief guest, welcome to the KRA Summit. We are glad to host you, distinguished guests, distinguished partners, the KRA board and leadership. Karibuni sana. Please go around your table and say welcome to the KRA Summit. Oh, come on. Say welcome to the KRA Summit around your table. I see high fives. Fantastic. I know it is a serious conference, but we also are allowed to laugh a little bit. It's great energy here. We're excited to be hosting you for the KRA Summit. Our theme this year is Beyond the Frontiers, Advancing Digitalized, Inclusive, and Customer-Centric Revenue Administration. We're going to be here for 2 days dissecting this topic. Great discussions are lined up for you, and we're excited that you're here journeying with us. This has been a culmination of about 6 citizen assemblies that our chairman, Honorable Nderito, has led us through the entire country. Well, most parts, just engaging with taxpayers and hearing how is it can we improve our systems at the Kenya Revenue Authority, and we culminate those conversations here. So thank you. We are looking forward to great discussions from you. We have great panelists lined up for you. But to start the ball rolling, allow me to welcome my Commissioner General, Mr. Humphrey Watanga, to give us his remarks, and then he will welcome our chairman, Honorable Nderito Mureithi. Why don't we welcome my Commissioner General with a warm round of applause.
Thank you, Wageni. Our chief guest, State House Deputy Chief of Staff, Honorable Governor Josephat Nanok, PS State Department for Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises, Honorable Susan Mangeni, the Chairman of the KRA Board of Directors, Honorable Nderito Mureithi, Board of Directors present, Chief Executive Officers, and senior government officials present, esteemed stakeholders, staff, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my great privilege to welcome you all to the Kenya Revenue Authority Summit 2025. Our theme, Beyond the Frontiers, Advancing Digitalized, Inclusive, and Customer-Centric Revenue Administrations. This theme truly speaks to our commitment to reimagine tax administration in ways that embrace technology, expand inclusivity, and put taxpayers at the center of service. Over the years, the KRA Summit has evolved into a flagship forum for dialogue, collaboration, one that challenges tax administrations to move beyond traditional approaches and embrace new frontiers that are digital first, inclusive, and uncompromising in their service to our taxpayers. For Kenya's tax administration, this gathering of bold minds is a timely opportunity for shared learning, drawing on unique perspectives, innovative solutions, and insights from diverse jurisdictions. It is this diversity that forms the foundation for meaningful transformation as we collectively redefine and advance revenue administration across our continent and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, every tax administration represented here today grapples with similar questions: balancing efficiency with accessibility, embracing technology without leaving any taxpayer behind, and evolving from being perceived merely as regulators to being trusted service providers, and in turn, progressively build confidence in an era of growing digital skepticism? The answers to these questions may not be found in isolation. Rather, they emerge through such open dialogue, bold experimentation, and the willingness to share both successes and lessons learned from our failures. As such, this summit presents a valuable opportunity to explore practical solutions, foster cross-border learning, and commit to sustained collaboration. From mobile money integration, artificial intelligence-driven risk assessment, and innovative taxpayer education models, many of the experiences that will be presented here today embody a repository of tested solutions. Our task, therefore, is not to replicate what others have done, but to understand why it worked and how such approaches can be adopted to our unique context. The challenges of revenue administration may transcend borders, but so do the solutions. For instance, a breakthrough in Rwanda might inspire innovation in Ghana, whereas an inclusive approach in India may hold lessons for Latin America. This summit provides a space where such knowledge can move beyond exchange to become collaboration, transforming shared ideas into practical solutions that drive real impact across regions. For KRA, the diversity of global experiences in digital transformation is especially valuable. While some administrations are only beginning their digital journey, others are already exploring advanced technologies such as AI-driven analytics, blockchain integration, and Internet of Things. By engaging in this exchange, KRA is eager to learn from the experience of those further ahead, rediscover the fundamentals that worked for advanced administrations, and hear from peers navigating earlier phases of digital transformation. Equally important to KRA is that pursuit of inclusivity, a universal challenge that manifests differently across contexts, whether through rural connectivity, language diversity, or urban accessibility. Yet, the principle remains constant. Every taxpayer matters, and none should be left behind. By sharing both successes that inspire and the setbacks that caution, we equip one another with practical solutions to proactively address vulnerabilities, avoid common pitfalls, and move closer to building revenue administrations that are not only inclusive, but also resilient. Ladies and gentlemen, revenue administrations are not only stewards of fiscal capacities, but also custodians of public trust. The decisions we make in how we collect taxes, serve taxpayers, and use the data entrusted to us shapes development, equity, and governance. Therefore, the true measure of this summit's success will not only be the quality of our discussions, but the extent to which we translate our insights into action. We stand today at a pivotal moment in the evolution of tax administration. Tools such as AI, blockchain, mobile money, and advanced analytics, once unimaginable just a decade ago, are now within our reach. Yet the challenges before us demand fresh thinking and collaborative action. I urge us to draw on the wisdom in this room, the decades of experience, and the many initiatives already implemented to add value and boldly redefine the future of taxation. Let us focus on actionable steps and scalable approaches that allow for phased implementation, supported by frameworks that enable us to measure progress as we continue delivering quality services to the communities we serve. As I conclude, let us remember that the frontiers before us are not only technological, but also cultural, conceptual, and collaborative. By advancing digitalized, inclusive, and customer-centric systems, we can strengthen compliance, deepen trust, and secure sustainable development for generations to come. Kenya is proud to host this dialogue and work alongside you in shaping the future of taxation, as together we can start a new path for revenue administrations. Thank you all, and I wish you fruitful deliberations. I now take this opportunity to welcome the Chairman of KRA Board of Directors, Honorable Nderitu Muridhi, to give his remarks. Asante.
His Excellency Josephat K. Nanok, the Deputy Chief of Staff, our PS for micro, small, and medium enterprise, although in KRA we are, well, I'll get to that. Our PS, Susan Mangeni, Solicitor General, the Honorable Shadrach Mose, colleague directors of the KRA Board, our Commissioner General Humphrey Wetanga, colleagues from government, esteemed stakeholders, KRA staff, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Hi, Jameni. Good morning. Chief guest, if you allow, just to be certain that we are constitutionally convened, allow me to ask the Solicitor General of the Republic to come up here and confirm so. Honorable Shadrach Mose, please come for 1 minute. And I'll tell just 1 minute, please.
Thank you, Chairman, our chief guest, and good brother, Dr. Nanok, the Commissioner General, the directors, and all colleagues. Good morning. I think, Chairman, we need to be 30 years, and we are a bit quiet. Good morning. First and foremost, Chair, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to just say one or two things, because I'm here also representing the Honorable, the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, and also appear. And Chair, this is a great occasion, 30 years, and that's why I'm sure as we are going forward, we're going to say KRA is no longer an authority, but is a service. With those very few remarks, and having looked at all the protocols and arrangements in place, I wish to officially declare that this meeting is legally constituted. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Solicitor General. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is my first summit as chair of the board of KRA. So obviously I'm super delighted to be here and to join with our chief guest, my friend and childhood, I better stop in that direction, His Excellency Governor Nanok. He was the first governor of the great county of Turkana. So I'm super delighted to be here. And it is 2 days of conversations about the future of tax administration. At the Kenya Revenue Service, we believe that enduring solutions emerge when we come together, when we bring our diverse backgrounds and knowledge and professions, when we engage in open dialogue, when we collaborate as stakeholders, and when we share ideas. So this summit is an integral part of our stakeholder engagement. And it is structured so that our continental partners, our global partners, those who can provide a platform for peer-to-peer learning where leading actors in taxation, in economics, in business can exchange insights, benchmark experiences, and share best practices that advance economic growth, domestic resource mobilization, and tax administration. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to just restate the obvious. No state exists without taxes. Let me say again, no state can exist without taxes. Now, I know some of my friends are fond of reminding me that as a state we do borrow. Yes, we do. But borrowing is deferred tax. Because even if the loan is for 25 years, we'll have to pay it back. Even if it's for 30 years, we have to pay it back. And we pay it with the taxes that we collect. So, all of you in this room, a round of applause to yourselves for participating in financing the state. This year's theme is Beyond the Frontiers, Advancing Digitalized, Inclusive, and Customer-Centric Revenue Administration. So let me say again, digitalized, inclusive, customer-centric. So it's about commitment to shaping the future by being innovative, by using technology, by being inclusive, and ensuring that service is at the center of everything that we do. From a governance perspective, we view this theme both as a guiding principle and a call to stewardship, one that ensures that the Kenya Revenue Service firmly remains on the path of transformation, providing the policy direction and institutional oversight necessary to sustain reforms that deliver lasting value to the Kenyan people. Ladies and gentlemen, the world is already changed. So digital transformation is not a future ambition. It is what is going on today. So that in this sense, tax administration must embrace a paradigm shift that leverages modern tools such as artificial intelligence, advanced data analytics to make compliance more seamless and reduce the cost of both doing business and of tax compliance. So, my fellow Kenyans, look, it's not that we're out to get you. That's not what we mean. It's not like that at all. We are not out to invade your privacy or look into your data the way some people like to think. What we are saying is, let us use technology to make both the way you do business and the way you comply with your obligations to finance the state. Let us use technology to make both things better and more seamless. Of course, in these modern times, a revenue or tax system must guarantee predictability. And I bet you, in the course of these 2 days, we will talk a bit about predictability of the tax environment. We know that taxpayers require clarity and certainty on their obligations so that they can plan effectively and contribute confidently to national development. Predictability fosters trust, it minimizes disputes, and strengthens the social contract between citizens and the state. Equally, in today's interconnected global economy, taxation cannot stop at our borders. And I know we have occasion to speak about transfer pricing and many other issues that relate to what we do, not just beyond our borders. So through regional integration and the exchange of information, we can bolster trade, we can deter illicit financial flows, we can enhance compliance, and we can promote fairness in taxation. So in this journey, the Kenya Revenue Service continues to leverage technology, not only to modernize the processes, but to enhance accessibility and efficiency of service excellence. Digital platforms such as application programming interface, mobile applications, and self-service portals are expanding taxpayer reach, reducing physical barriers, and making it easier for every Kenyan, from large corporates to emerging businesses, to interact with the tax system. As we walked to the hall, we went with our chief guest and our peers for emerging business, because we wanted to show them. I know all of you Kenyans and friends from abroad, you know that we are on WhatsApp. So if you just hit us on 0711 099 999 on WhatsApp, you'll be able to access nearly a dozen of our services using that platform. We are even on the more traditional USSD. I can see my colleague from Anderson Consulting. *222#. Traditional, and you will find another dozen of our services there. We even have an AI. So Ushuru GPT. And you can find us and ask many, many questions. By the way, I went to this area, sometimes referred to as Mulima or Mulima, I don't know. I went to Nanyuki, and when I showed the Kenyans on that side our WhatsApp interface, she's called Shuru. So you can well imagine the fellow started saying Shiro, but we don't mind, you can customize it to your local neighborhood language, but she's called Shuru, and she is on WhatsApp. So ladies and gentlemen, by embedding technology at the heart of service delivery, we are building a more transparent, responsive, and customer-centric administration that reflects the realities of a global economy. More importantly, our focus is on building a tax administration that is anchored on trust, transparency, and mutual respect. And I really want to remind Kenyans, when we write you emails, it's not always that we are asking you to pay. There are times when actually we are wishing you a happy birthday. So open the emails, tafadhali. We are committed to broadening our service footprint. As the Commissioner for Emerging Businesses will tell you, we are looking to get 10,000, 10,000 touch points where you can reach us, because we would like, you don't have to go very far from where you live or where your business is in order for you to interact with a service point of the revenue service. So we want to offer localized, responsive solutions, ensuring that every taxpayer feels valued, supported, and understood. The era of enforcement-driven or purely enforcement-driven approach is behind us. In its place stands a service-oriented administration that focuses on voluntary compliance and strengthens the partnership between the taxpayer and the state. At the same time, we recognize that meaningful and sustainable tax administration cannot be achieved without adequate resources. It is for this reason, Chief Guest, that we continue to deepen our collaboration with the National Treasury and our development partners to mobilize the financial and technical support required for the digital transformation of the revenue service, for capacity building, and for strengthening the institution. These strategic partnerships are indispensable in ensuring that our reforms are not only inclusive and sustainable, but also deliver measurable impact in advancing Kenya's fiscal resilience and economic growth. Chief Guest, for emphasis, we found ourselves last week invited to listen in to what the IMF had to say, but more about that later. As we mark 3 decades of the revenue service to this nation, these collaborations reflect the long-term stewardship that has underpinned our progress and will continue to guide us as we build the next chapter of a stronger, more adaptive, future-ready tax administration. In closing, allow me to reaffirm that the journey of transformation we are undertaking is not for the Revenue Service alone, but for the nation as a whole. By embracing digitalization, fostering inclusivity, strengthening predictability, and deepening partnerships, we are laying a solid foundation for a tax administration that is modern, that is trusted, that is globally respected. By the way, a week ago, or maybe a week and a half, when we were sitting at the Citizen Assembly at Ufungamano, the Deputy Commissioner in charge of citizen engagement asked me to search online. And I searched which tax agency has the best citizen engagement. Do you know what the AI told me? Perhaps you may wish to search for yourself. But the AI told me KRA, which is the tax agency with the best citizen engagement. So I thought, is it that this particular AI? So I searched, I think on GPT, and I searched for strong, which tax agencies have a strong citizen engagement. We emerged in the top 4. I think only the Scandinavians were ahead of us. So please appreciate KRA for all his effort. As we celebrate 30 years of service, we do so with pride in our achievements and with even greater resolve to lead boldly into the future. Together with government, development partners, taxpayers, and stakeholders, we will advance beyond the frontiers and secure a stronger, more prosperous Kenya for generations to come. I urge each of you to engage actively in the discussions. Together, let us advance beyond the frontiers. Let us shape the next era of revenue administration. Let us secure a stronger, more prosperous future for the generations ahead. So, asanteni sana. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have said in the corporate plan that the next era is certainly about expanding the tax base. It's about creating the platform for all businesses of all shapes, of all sizes, to be able to participate effectively in financing our development. So it gives me great pleasure to invite the PS, the Prince Secretary in charge of micro, small, medium enterprises, PS Susan Mangeni. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning. Good morning. The Deputy Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service, my boss, Honorable Nanok, the Chair of KRA, and Chair, ukiendelea hivyo, umesema this is your first term. Hata wewe tunaweza ongea 2 term. I love the passion. Hata wewe tunaweza kufanyia hivi. Endelea tu hivyo hivyo. And Commissioner General, if I'm not wrong, and my very good friend, and my colleague, Solicitor General, and all of you good people, commissioners who are here, board of directors. Allow me to also rise on the protocols as they were observed earlier. Hamjambo tena. Hey, hamjambo. You know, I was telling the Hopes, that's how we call him most of the time, our boss, the Hopes, that I saw Mbona hamtoi sauti. I told him, have you ever seen people with money speaking loud? You know, there's a way through which money, you know, noise, isn't it? So it's deep, you know, a deep voice. One is just a demonstration that your boss, my cabinet secretary. So, as always, when your boss is invited, so you don't read the speech, you read the boss speech. So I want to bring first of all the apologies of my immediate boss, the Honorable Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Ambecho Paranya, who would have loved to be here, but because of work, he couldn't make it, and therefore he asked me to be here. So I will give my own few remarks. I'll talk through them, and I will then have the pleasure to present the remarks of my CS. So, yesterday again, when we were going through this program, then I saw, and you've also seen the table, I asked my CS, you know, KRA is not within our ministry. So our ministry is cooperative and MSME. But I can see we are the ones who are featuring here. Ordinarily, I would have expected to see the CS for National Treasury and my colleague PS for the National Treasury. Why is it that it is us who are here? Then I remembered the various conversations which we've had before. We've been strongly advocating. The time has come where KRA ought to move closer to their client. So I told my boss, that is CS, that you know these people have now become of age. They are now coming to where their clients are. And the client of this great institution now is the MSME sector. Just clap for yourself. So this truly demonstrates that you mean what the Commissioner General has spoken about, and also what the chairman has said, that indeed you are on a new path for revenue administration, and you are happy about this. And it also demonstrates that indeed you are also now becoming more customer-centric. And these have been our prayers, especially speaking now from the bottom of the economic pyramid. You know, everything that I'm sharing here from the bottom of the economic pyramid, you know, down there. So, you know, when you're down there, you have a very good sight of who is up there. Now, I want to celebrate you, of course, for attaining 30 years of doing a good job. But you know, if KRA was a human being, where will you place him? Will he be Alpha, Gen Z, or Millennial? Where will KRA be? If KRA was a human being, Gen Z, isn't it? So good, you are Gen Z, clap for yourself. And so when you are Gen Z, what comes with being a Gen Z is now you become more bold when it comes to your action. You become more daring. You know, in moving mountain, you can actually move mountain. So we have no doubt that the journey that you have embarked on, leveraging on technology, digital technology, moving towards people, engaging customers. You know, I was just telling SG, one of the engagement that I love most, you know, Kenyans are very good people and are very lovely people. And they like, you know, if you want to know that Kenyans love Kenyans, you go outside there online and try to attack a Kenyan, even if they do not know them. We have the biggest army online all over the world, and we are known for this. Do not touch a fellow Kenyan. We'll all be there, you know? And when we talk about even these challenges of ethnicity sometimes, we just talk within our borders. But when we are outside there, we are all Kenyan. So then I was telling SG, I just love when now the way you have transformed even how you communicate. Mtu akiuliza swali akiujinga, hata pia nyinyi mnajibu kiuji, and that's the fun. Nasema, oya, KRA, sasa, ni vipi jo, unaona, nasema, mwingine namjibu sasa tunakujia. You know, that's the love, that's the fun. And there's no any other different way of getting close to Kenya, to their heart. So we have to become human in everything that we do, so that we start moving away from the compliance language to civic responsibility. So Kenyans do this knowing, I'm doing this because it's my responsibility. We fought for independence so that we can become self-reliant. And to be self-reliant, the biggest indicator is how you're contributing to your revenue, isn't it? So you're doing well, so I want to commend you for that. I just have about 3 things which I want to share on how I feel, and I'm so much excited, and I really want to belong to this space. Now that, and congratulations, now you have a department in charge of, and Chairman, I'm told it's SME, not MSME. Please, it's MSME. You got to do something about that, because sisi ndio tuko, sisi ndio mnahitaji, you know, sisi ndio sasa wanarusi, si ndio? You need us, you know. So, but also now bring us closer to the table, like the way you have demonstrated today. I want you to see where you can fix that, kwa your board of directors, because I feel if we sit, we become part of hapo, kiweka sisi hapo. Nakwambia, mutaokota tax, mpaka mtatuambia tumechoka. Kuna mwaka mtasema wa Kenya, poleni. Because Kenyans just want to engage. Kenyans yati ni wagumu. And you've already highlighted some of and we've seen even when we are going round the exhibition, we've seen those emerging technologies. We've seen how you are utilizing the mobile, so that you're taking the mobile to another level, mobile phone. From just communicating, from just sending money, we can get to do so many things. And I think this is what Kenyans have been waiting. Because look, mama mboga kama mimi sasa, nakatia kasa mamekuja hizo masaa za jioni namkatia mboga, na huku nataka mimi, sijui niende online, sijui nione haje, tax. Unajua, you need to come up with a system where, nikianza kukata mboga, na nilikuwa nimeanza ile application, nikishafunga tena nitarudi kwa simu tena niendelee kufunga mboga. Because to an entrepreneur, especially micro-entrepreneurs, what matters most is time. Tunaelewana? So sometimes we need to create more convenient systems that we can still do our work, because that's how we ply our trade and still meet our obligation. Then also, as I wind up my remarks, I also want to talk about visibility. And when I talk about visibility, a lot of the time that we don't get to majority of people is because they're not visible to our conventional platforms, isn't it, where you think you see them. But you see, wanasema mwenye haja si ndiye anaenda wapi? Msalani, si ndio? So we need this formalization, and this is where I want to work closely with this institution on how well can we make formalization become more as an enabler, as an incentive, to link our businesses to higher opportunities, to help scale our businesses. Because the moment you talk about formalization, watu wanafikiria sasa ndio hao wamefika tax. But sometimes formalization is just to creating visibilities of our businesses, so that in the end, you can now be exposed to more enhanced opportunities to grow your business. So I really want to sit down with this institution and see how best can we do in formalization. And again, but nataka kuwaomba kitu. Nataka kuomba kitu kwa ajili ya watu wangu. We need to invest in that formalization process. Hii kidogo, you know, we people, our turnover ni kidogo kidogo, 50,000, 100,000. We don't benefit from tax, VAT refund. Do we? We don't, isn't it? So the only way to benefit from refunds is to find a way of investing back. Hata ng'ombe ndio mchinje, lazima mlishe vizuri. Mumenisikiza hapo? The reason we have feedlots all over for beef, in the beef industry, and Governor Nderitu, you know, then like Ipia, there are so many feedlots. So unanonesha, nakuwa mzuri, ndio uchinje, ndio upate nyama mzuri. So you also need to plow back. As part of your CSR, we work together, we can build the financial capacity of MSMEs. The simple thing about accounting, we were just talking in the holding room, that, Chair, we are saying, if we go through these colonial systems of accounting, you see, of P and L, we as a country, we need to understand the people, majority of people who are in our economic space, and see how do we make it easier. How does someone on weekly basis get to work out their turnovers, so that you know what is it that is tenable, what is it that then you can also you can pay as a tax and all that. So these are some, we need to simplify ourselves, simplify our accounting standards, simplify our processes, so that we meet these people at the places of work, in their spaces. And this way you'll have many people, and you'll make sure that no one is left behind. Again, I like the fact that all of us are talking about a service. Yes, this is a service. This is a service because it's not a punitive thing, it's not just like a compliance, but it is a service which needs to be embedded in our culture. Allow me, because if I leave this stage without, you know, I've gone through the speech of my boss, and I know there are a few things, na ni sisi tu tumeandika, maona vitu zingine, nilikuwa nimejiachia pia mimi, you know, isn't it? So that, unajua ni, unapanga maneno, na mwekea yake, na mimi pia najiwekea yangu. Sasa kwa yangu, nisiposema itakuwa makosa. Having initiative that seeks to stimulate economic at the grassroots, at the bottom of the economic pyramid, and increase visibility. And I think with that, we need to work together, because when I start meeting those people and working with KRA, so you'll become more familiar to them, and they will start looking at you as being enforcers, but they look at you as friends, as partners in our economic development. So, Hustler Fund, for example, today, if I were to be the bank, I'll be the largest bank in sub-Saharan Africa, and you have to clap for me. Clap. Because watu wa pesa hawapigangi makofi, mtapiga. Tupigie sisi, ndio pesa zingie. So now, today, we've been able to create visibility, credit visibility of about 26.7 million Kenyans between the ages of 18 to even 100 years, depending on who have lived long in this country, from 18 years and above. That is to mean that we are actually taking care of more than 3/3 of adult population in this country. Now, these people, we now have a very rich database. This database, we can now be able to see how do we organize them, how do we support their various needs on day-to-day. And these also demonstrate the ends we've gone to deepen financial inclusion. So when we started with the personal loan, which we have so far disbursed close to 77 billion. 77 billion just through this mobile phone. And the chairman, we are talking about how this mobile phone, the money, the transaction that gets through this mobile phone, just SIM, is way above our GDP in this country, and probably in East Africa. It's lots of money that passes through this phone on a daily basis. And so, But as we do that, we are helping those Kenyans who are never visible. And this is where now you can also pick one or two lessons from it. Who are never visible in the mainstream financial institution, they have never left behind certain footprints, certain credit footprint. So you are giving first experience or primary experience in the credit market. So as you borrow, someone starts knowing you, a bank at building your basic KYC. And this is one of very, and SJ, I know you are here, and you know I wrote to you asking for your legal clearance and approval, and you know this Hustler Fund, the way people have been asking, this is the most robust PPP, is a public-private partnership. Maybe this is the part that people have never known. We have private sector coming, the banks, who are offering their infrastructure, banking infrastructure, telecos have come in. What the government of Kenya has put in is the actual money for lending. It's a PPP. And this just demonstrates how we need to work closely with the private sector. And why did we do that? So that they start now understanding Kenyans in that space on the platform, understanding Kenyans, and start now changing the perception about them, about the youth, about persons with disability, about those women. And knowing that these people can be good, stopping to generalize that if you're a young person, you're high risk, if you're a woman, you don't have property, you don't have work. Because eventually, my good people of KRA, where we want to move, we want to reform our collateral system in this country, which is heavily which is currently relying on the means of production, ownership of means of production, or your pay slip, of your land, tenure, whatever. We want to start having digital collaterals based on your credit history, so that wherever you go, and leveraging on what we have made in this space of the technology, then whenever you go, I don't need a title deed. You can just walk back and see what has been your behavior. And you get to judge me, judge my credit worthiness, and serve me accordingly. I know when I talk about Hustler Fund, I can talk about a whole month without even sitting down, because I know it really matters and what it's trying to do. So when we talk about 500, many people, what can you do with 500? But 500 will give you a credit history. If you can be trusted by 500, you can equally be trusted even with 10 million shilling. Matters credit is about trust. We've gone through those exhibition stands. We had equity, and guest of honor, you remember when you asked them, currently, what is the customer base, the enterprises which they're lending, they say it is a bit very low. The challenge we have in this country is that whereas we have deepened financial inclusion all over, credit inclusion is still a challenge. Many people are still borrowing for personal use. They're not actually borrowing for business. So we need to move it to the next level. And moving to the next level, we have to create a platform that gives experience to those people who have never had experience. And then also Hustler Fund provides credit repair mechanism, which had never been in our economy. Once you've been blacklisted, that is it. But now as a government, we cannot afford to be having most of our people getting blacklisted. Lastly, on projects that you can leverage on, I'm sharing opportunity now, is Nyota. You've heard about Nyota. Everybody's talking about Nyota. The whole country is Nyota, everywhere. And many people asking questions, oh, how are you going to sustain? Oh, what? One thing that I always ask myself, anytime we come up with an intervention, now this is not for you. Anytime we come up with an intervention that targets people at the bottom of the economic pyramid, chief guest, allow me to say this, people always, start criticizing. Sasa, sisi mahaslas hatuna chetu. It cannot be that any time any government is becoming more intentional. I remember even during Uhuru's time, when they came up with Kazi Mtaani, again there were those people sitting in those hotels, wearing very nice suits like you, but they were not you people. Hawakuwa nyinyi. Telling people, yo kazi chafu ya kufagia mitaro. I mean, And so, who will do it? And then when you people raises the tax, wanasema mnatufi, but you do not want them even to do those jobs. At least they get something they put into the pocket. Now we've come again with Hustler Fund. They'll tell you, oh, that default, yani, we really want to hate on Kenyans. As if hizi magari tunaona kwa hizi yards, auctioneers yards. Mimi sijafika level ya kopesha Wakenya pesa kuchukua magari. Sasa these vehicles in auctioneers yard imeletwa na Hustler Fund. Hizi house mortgages imeleta. So kwa nini tunaonea chuki wananchi wa huko chini? Saa ile tunakama up na intervention tuwasaidie. I think we need to rethink. We need to love this Kenya. This is the only way you bring them into the fold, into the tax base and widen. We must stimulate economic engagement. The problem in this country is economic. You know, you are the one who set this pace of passion talking on a chair. So you will allow me just kidogo also to nini, kidogo tu hapo. You know, the problem we have is how we have arranged economic participation. And this is what we were sorting out with bottom-up economic transformation agenda. See to it that we invest more at the people, at the grassroots, so that kila mtu ana kitu ya kufanya. If everybody is doing something, you're able to meet your basic needs. So even the burden here at the top will start easing. Because then you don't have to pay for, sijui mtu ajakula. Mtu anaweza saikopa hiyo Hustler Fund, akule, iende chini, pesa yako unaipanga, mzuri uko juu. But hiyo vitu ingine yo siasa, we don't like it. Watu watuachie mahustlers pia, waukue, you know, we need to bring them, everybody there. So tusiwaonee chuki every time we start talking about sustainability, what. Lazima tuanzie mahali, alafu hizo vitu zingine we keep on improving. Now the other project nataka kumalizia hapo, my remarks, and be comfortable because my boss ni kidogo tu nikitia 3 minutes, kwa mingi. Najuanga mimi ndio niko na maneno mingi. Yeye ni mzalendo kama nyinyi. Is FCPA, by the way. Most of you people are CPA, FCPA. Hamna maneno mingi. So, Nyota. So Nyota, I just want, in summary, Nyota is not a new initiative. Let me clear the air. That Nyota is a scale-up of Kenya Youth Employment Opportunity Program that was there for the last 5 years. It ended actually in 2022 when we were just coming in, and which presents 2 tracks for job creation. The first track is enhancing youth employability, and the second track is expanding youth employment opportunities. Of course, it targets people between the ages of 18 to 29, marginalized, those who have not progressed beyond Form 4, and many people may think that they are there, and they're very huge numbers from what we've seen from the application response, and up to 35 for persons with disability. We also being intentional with vulnerable youth in gazetted camps, Zetu's a refugee, as well as 5% of beneficiary we are saying must be persons with disability, and we are presenting equal opportunities to gender, to women and female, 50-50. Wanawake, wanaume kwa hiyo project. So, Solicitor General, as far as the Constitution is concerned, I think we are ticking all the boxes, because again, we are in each and every ward, all the 1450 wards, 290 constituencies and 47 counties. Is a large-scale project. So under the first track, we are looking at 2 pathways. The first pathway is recognizing prior learning. We have young people who, because they grew up in an environment where they could learn, see what was happening. Maybe your dad was a carpenter. By just helping him, pushing the toolbox, you learned how to do it, and you, very good. But what is standing in between you and job is certificate, because you've not gone through a formal institution. So through Nyota projects, such kind of skill sets that are existing, we certify them so that we increase the chances of being recruited in that industry or in the job market. And you know, we've gone big also on the labor mobility. So we're having opportunities. And you find someone knows even how to drive a lorry, but hana tu hiyo certificate, so we come in. So in that path, on that pathway, we are targeting 20,000 young people across the Republic of Kenya, again distributed equally or equitably. That is our dream in each and every ward. The second pathway under that first track of enhancing youth employability is on job experience. So you find we have young people who already shown interest in certain key sectors of growth, and they will learn more, they will understand the sector if they get attached to a business owner, to a farm. So for a period of 1 year, and we're going to incentivize the business owner, we'll give them something so that they really teach these people, but then they also retain them, and eventually, if they prove to have mastered the rule of the game there, then they can also, they can retain them there, or then these young people become more competitive in the sector. So that track, again, because we want the consistency, we've been deliberate, and we're going to provide a stipend, a monthly stipend for that, within that period of 1 year, for these people so that they maintain consistency, because you cannot also learn on job if you're not consistent. We are targeting to benefit 90,000 young people, again, on that, under that pathway, across the Republic of Kenya. Then the second track on expanding employability, this is where you people, you need to listen vizuri, because hapa sasa ndio entry point yenyu. We intend to create 100,000 entrepreneurs and disapprove the notion that entrepreneurs are only born. Entrepreneurs can made, and indeed we've had so many entrepreneurs who have been made around the world. 100,000 entrepreneurs. So we will train them. We have recruited BDS, very experts, so they want to be subjected to a comprehensive BDS support program. And then for a period of 4 months, they'll be mentored, counseled, and put in an ecosystem where they can access expanded opportunities here and there. So a formation, a true formation process of an entrepreneur. And that one comes with a package of 50,000 shillings per individual youth entrepreneur as a startup capital, just to enable them launch the business journey, as now they gain entry into ecosystem where they can now in future access those other opportunities. So when you see people talking about 50,000, we are creating jobs. And then lastly, alongside that, to expand access to market, we are also training 600,000 existing young entrepreneurs on Agipo and other areas of doing business, so that then, and even the EGP, so that then they can get to expand the market. So those are some of the opportunities and avenues through which I'm presenting to you, where we can work together and get to the bottom of the economic pyramid. But because mine was just to read, I cannot leave this before reading the speech. So ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, allow me now in 3 minutes just to present to you the remarks of my immediate boss, FCPA, Wycliffe Mbecha Oparanya. I know he's your colleague. Si nyinyi wengi na accountants. Najua mimi hesabu ilikata, but najua kurudisha change kama entrepreneur. So it gives me, this is not my voice. Tumekubaliana. It is my CS voice. So it gives me great pleasure to join you this morning, and to be sure, for the Kra Summit 2025, a gathering that brings together some of the brightest minds and boldest reformers in our nation's economic landscape. Over the past few years, Kenya has embarked on an ambitious journey to align its tax and revenue systems, making them more efficient, transparent, inclusive, and empowering for every Kenyan. This year's theme, Beyond the Frontiers, advancing digitalized, inclusive, customer-centric revenue administration is therefore timely. It speaks to what our economies urgently need: stronger domestic resource mobilization and a thriving micro, small, and medium enterprises sector that forms the heartbeat of our national growth. Together, we are not just talking about transformation, but rather building a tax ecosystem that fuels enterprise, supports innovation, and secures our country's economic future. The Ministry of Cooperatives and MSME Development remains deeply committed to advancing this sector, which is the heartbeat of our economy, contributing over 40% for GDP and providing the majority of employment opportunities. Beyond the numbers, MSMEs reflect the resilience, creativity, and ambition of our people. They are not just small enterprises, they are engines of innovation, job creation, inclusive prosperity. When they thrive, the nation prospers. Ladies and gentlemen, in this spirit, my ministry has implemented transformative programs that align with the summit's principles of digitalization, inclusion, and customer centricity. Through the Kenya Jobs and Economic Transformation Project, we are unlocking value chains in agriculture, manufacturing, and trade by expanding access to finance, markets, and skills for MSME. Platforms such as public-private sector, MSMEs Dialogue, dubbed MSME Connect, are deepening collaboration between government, entrepreneurs, regulators, and financiers. These platforms are simplifying licensing, enhancing policy feedback, and fostering an enabling environment for enterprise growth. Additionally, financial inclusion continues through the Hustler Fund, which has empowered millions of micro-entrepreneurs to access affordable credit and expand their businesses. This is complemented by the revitalization of constituency, industrial development centers, and establishment of counter aggregation and industrial park, which provide shared facilities, modern equipment, and value chain support for MSMEs across the country. Similarly, the ongoing digital transformation of cooperatives is enhancing governance, transparency, and service delivery. Collectively, this initiative illustrates Kenya's bold shift beyond the frontiers, from manual to digital, from fragmented to inclusive, and from transactional to customer-centered service delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, I am informed that the Kenya Revenue Authority has established a dedicated department to facilitate MSMEs. For far too long, this relationship between this vital sector and tax administration has been characterized more by complexity than collaboration. It is therefore commendable that KRA has taken deliberate measures to redefine this relationship. The creation of a specialized MSME facilitation unit, the simplification of tax regimes, and the continuous enhancement of digital tools such as e-Teams alongside improved accessibility through mobile platforms demonstrates a clear and deliberate shift towards inclusivity and convenience. These innovations are making tax services more accessible and responsive, particularly for entrepreneurs operating in areas with limited connectivity. This ongoing shift from enforcement to facilitation and from compliance to partnership is redefining how MSMEs interact with the tax system. It represents a strategic cultural reorientation anchored in inclusive digital and customer-centric ethos that this summit so aptly champions. Ladies and gentlemen, as these efforts gather pace, the connection between MSME growth and effective revenue administration becomes undeniable. A digitalized and inclusive business environment naturally expands the tax base through voluntary compliance. When entrepreneurs encounter systems that are intuitive, affordable, and responsive, compliance ceases to be an obligation, it becomes a partnership. This is why we must continue simplifying tax processes and compliance and institutionalize practical tax education. Let us therefore imagine revenue administration not as a transactional process, but as a partnership prosperity. I urge all stakeholders, tax administrators, policymakers, and private sector leaders to design digital tools, that simplify compliance, formalize pathways that reward participation, and create customer interaction that build trust and transparency. Through collaboration, innovation, and empathy, we can transform revenue systems into true enablers of MSME growth and national prosperity. Together, let us move beyond the frontiers of traditional administration to build a comprehensive tax ecosystem that empowers enterprise, strengthens domestic revenue, and propels our nation towards sustainability and inclusive growth. I thank you, and I wish you all productive and inspiring summit. So now it is my single most honor to request all of you to be upstanding and help me welcome my boss and the Deputy Head of Public Service and Chief of Staff, Honorable Nanok.
Let's be seated. The Principal Secretary, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Madam Susan Mageni, the Solicitor General, Honorable Shadrach Mose, my childhood friend, Governor Derito Moreithi, Chairman of the KRA, my other friend, Humphrey Watanga, Commissioner General of KRA, Chief Executive Officers and senior government officials present, esteemed stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I don't want to take much time as Susan has taken, but I understand her passion with the subject matter that she was discussing. Last evening, when my colleague and immediate boss asked me to come for the summit, I looked forward to come here because in the last 2 years, we spent so many hours during the day, during the night, and I was in many of those meetings with KRA officials and Treasury, discussing about our tax and revenue policies, and looking also at how KRA can be able to re-engineer itself into an agency that is going to digitalize its services, that is going to be more inclusive and more customer-centric, and move away from that enforcer that our major clients who pay the taxes look at KRA. And I'm glad that that opportunity has fallen into two particular individuals, the chair and the Commissioner General, and listening to their passion, discussing about a newer approach of doing business in KRA, I have all the trust and belief that they will provide that leadership for this particular institution to be able to move forward and support government and the citizenry of this country to collect the necessary revenue that is going to help government deliver on its public and political obligations. I am therefore honored
to join you this morning during the official opening of the Kenya Revenue Authority Summit 2025. This forum has earned its place in our national agenda because the revenue collected through taxation plays a major role in the progress of our nation and forms the foundation upon which we build our shared prosperity and sustainable development. I am informed that this year's summit aims to explore the future of tax and customs in a digital-first world, with a citizen-centric approach that meets the needs of businesses, taxpayers, and the country in general, while ensuring efficiency in compliance measures and trade facilitation. I'm also aware that through this summit, KRA intends to develop a framework for faster movement of goods and people across African borders in order to promote regional trade, foster partnership with stakeholders to create inclusive and transparent revenue administration, identify practical solutions for addressing challenges in compliance while promoting voluntary participation, and develop actionable strategies for creating a customer-first culture in revenue administration. While we do this, KRA and all other public servants must appreciate that citizens are placing new demands on their governments. Demands for urgency, efficiency, transparency, inclusivity, and dignity on matters service delivery. This demand and expectation drives our vision for a single, integrated, and responsive public service, one that places the citizens at the very center of governance. This year's summit theme reflects the journey that Kenya, and indeed many nations across the globe, must undertake in pursuit of a modernized public service. Our society today is defined by rapid technological change, shifting economic realities, and evolving citizen participation expectations. As such, the service delivery framework must transcend traditional boundaries and embrace new models that are digital-first, inclusive of all categories of citizens, and anchored in excellence. In terms of domestic resource mobilization, the summit is a timely opportunity for tax administrations, policymakers, and industry leaders to share perspectives that shape tax policy, strengthen service delivery, and refine the way government engages with citizens on matters taxation. In this regard, the summit becomes both a mirror reflecting the concerns and aspirations of taxpayers and a compass guiding the future direction of revenue administration in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, technology is a great enabler of this transformation. Kenya is already a leader in the region on matters relating to digital transformation and innovation in the public sector. We have consolidated public services into a single sign-on online platform known as eCitizen, where our citizens can easily access government services. This is complemented on-ground Huduma centers and extended to unstructured supplementary service data, USSD platforms. Through mobile money transactions and vibrant digital marketplaces, Kenya continues to leverage technology to solve local challenges and also power service delivery within the public sector. From a tax administration perspective, I am happy to note that KRA has made remarkable progress in digitizing the tax administration. This includes e-filing, mobile-enabled payments, data analytics, and risk-based compliance management. Beyond these frontiers, KRA must envision a fully integrated, seamless system that anchors strategic reforms in efficient service delivery and make compliance with government regulations almost effortless. We must move to a future where filing tax returns is as simple as sending mobile money, while technology can enhance border surveillance, anticipate tax obligations, and where data integration across the government agencies drive convenience, fairness, accuracy, and efficiency. To achieve these aspirations, KRA and all its agents of tax administration must be unwavering in the resolve for agile, interoperable, and responsive solutions that meet the demands of a fast-changing economy. Inevitably, our endeavor should be towards modern, world-class tax administrations that not only meet the needs of today, but also anticipate the challenges of tomorrow, because progress cannot be held hostage to resistance. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya's vibrant informal economy continues to power daily commerce, sustaining millions of livelihoods and driving much of the country's economic activity. Yet, despite its immense contribution, much of it remains outside the formal tax net. There is therefore an urgent need for an inclusive and sustainable tax system, one that reflects the true dynamism of our economy. We must therefore develop practical solutions for small traders and cross-border businesses, maximizes voluntary compliance through trust and mutual benefit, and aligns with our constitutional commitment to equity and shared prosperity. Additionally, the growing base of our small, medium, and digital entrepreneurs must find space within the tax bracket that adapts to their evolving business models and cash flow patterns. This calls for fair, flexible, and facilitative systems that not only recognize the diverse realities of taxpayers, but also actively supports their transition into regular economic participation. For instance, localized levies, streamlined import procedures, payment schedules, graduated tax rates coupled with incentives for compliance are some of the initiatives that can easily drive meaningful participation for this sector on matters domestic resource mobilization. With this approach, taxation becomes advantageous rather than burdensome, offering clear benefits for participation while maintaining reasonable obligations that taxpayers can realistically meet. The tax administration must therefore transform from an extractive relationship to a partnership in national development, where every taxpayer, regardless of size or sector, contributes meaningfully to and benefits from collective prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, in terms of regional cooperation, Kenya has taken a leading role in advancing cross-border collaboration, working closely with regional partners to modernize customs, support traders, and facilitate legitimate trade. This regional integration extends beyond economic growth. It is about building trust, solidarity, and shared prosperity across our region. The adoption of a whole-of-government approach across various agencies, powered by technology, offers us that promise. At the public service, we view service delivery through the lens of modern governance, where customer centricity extends beyond pleasant interactions to meaningful policy design and proactive engagements with the citizenry. As I conclude, I want to underscore that efficient, digitalized, inclusive, and customer-focused tax administration is central to Kenya's national development agenda. Our collective ambition, as articulated in the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, Vision 2030, and the Sustainable Development Goals, requires robust and reliable domestic resources. Thus, without effective tax administration, these ambitions remain out of reach. Our expectations is that the summit will provide valuable inputs into our policy formulation and administration processes to influence not just the taxation frameworks, but the future of our country's development path. I urge all the stakeholders to use this platform to vote solutions that are innovative, practical, and tailored to our local realities, while aligning to best practice. I encourage you to explore new frontiers of collaboration between government, private sector, academia, and international partners, as we all have a role in shaping Kenya's revenue system that is fit for the future ambitions on revenue mobilization. In closing, I want to reaffirm the government's commitment to support reforms and innovations in revenue administration. Together, let us champion digital transformation, inclusivity, and a customer-focused approach to public sector service delivery. I wish you fruitful deliberations, and it is now my distinct honor to officially declare the Kenya Revenue Authority Summit 2025 officially open. I thank you.
Ni wajibu wetu sote tulipe ushuru tuijenge.
In 1995, a new chapter began. Through a Gazette notice, the Kenya Revenue Authority was established, tasked with unifying revenue collection and strengthening Kenya's economic foundation. Step by step, KRA has changed from paper records and long queues to digital databases, real-time systems, and smart customs stations. Each change brought greater efficiency and accountability. Every shilling collected has translated into growth. New schools for children, hospitals for families, and roads that connect communities. Behind the figures are tangible results that shape daily life in Kenya. Beyond numbers, KRA became a familiar name. Campaigns like Captain Shuru made tax a household conversation. In addition, through sponsorship of Kenya music festivals and other public programs, KRA has remained part of the country's cultural heartbeat. Technology has redefined revenue administration, from manual filing to ITMS, to the launch of iTax, to mobile services. Taxpayers now file returns, access services, and resolve queries with ease, anytime, anywhere. At our borders, customs has grown into a smart, tech-driven frontier. Trade is facilitated through electronic clearance, scanners, and coordinated border management, making Kenya competitive in the global economy. Our people remain the driving force. From training at the Kenya School of Revenue Administration to frontline service delivery, KRA's staff continue to uphold professionalism and integrity in every role. KRA's role goes beyond tax. Through corporate social responsibility, environmental conservation, and youth empowerment programs, KRA has invested in building a stronger, more informed society. Today, KRA stands as a modern institution, reliable, responsive, and technology-driven. Revenue collection has scaled to record levels, sustaining national development and securing Kenya's economic future. 30 years on, the journey continues. KRA is not just about taxes, it's about Kenya, about progress, trust, and transformation. The past guides, the present strengthens, and the future calls us forward.
Thank you very much. I think we can do something out of the ordinary. You know, when we're celebrating birthdays, we sing a birthday song. So we're going to sing a birthday song just before we go for a tea break. KRA is 30 years old, and I think it calls for some great celebration. So we're going to sing one quick stanza of happy birthday. So I'm not a very good singer, but let's just sing all of us together. All right, let's go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. You guys are not believers. Let's sing better. All right, let's try it one more time. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, KRA. Happy birthday to you. Let's give a round of applause for the Kenya Revenue Authority turning 30 years. Thank you very much, Chief Guest, Your Excellency Nanok, for coming and gracing our tax summit. We want to appreciate our two guests today. I want to start with FCPA, Dr. Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya, who was represented here by Madam PS. If I may kindly request my Commissioner General, Mr. Humphrey Watanga, to please come and give a quick appreciation to the CES. It will be received by Madam PS, Madam Mangeni, who will receive the token of appreciation on behalf of the Kenya Revenue Authority to her boss, Dr. Oparanya. Please tell him we appreciate him and we thank him for the collaboration. Thank you very much, my Commissioner General. I appreciate you as well. Asante sana. And now I would like to kindly request our Chairman, Honorable Nderito Moreithi, to please come and appreciate our chief guest. Thank you for your inspiring remarks on our tax summit. May I kindly request Honorable Nanok to please come and join me here on stage as we appreciate. We want him to remember KRA turned 30 in the year 2025. And so thank you very much, Honorable Nanok, for gracing our occasion. Third Chairman, Honorable Nderito, for appreciating him on our behalf. Asanteni makofi tafadhali. Right, so the stage has been set, the conversations are now rolling. We have fantastic plenary sessions for you right after this. So you want to take your cup of tea, get energized. We have great tea for you at the exhibition area. We have our exhibitors as well. We request you to please move around and interact with them. We shall meet, it is now 11:36 a.m. We have about 20 minutes for tea break. So just before midday, let's gather back for our first plenary session, where we'll be talking about tax-based expansion through MSME empowerment. That's a discussion you want to look forward to. As you heard what the PS said, the conversation is, can we get to a point as a country where e-teams can be used as a collateral for small-scale traders to get financing from banks? Maybe that's where we'll start the conversation after tea break. Please do enjoy your tea. Thank you to the online community. I understand we have about 1,000 people who are joining us online and across the revenue administrations, across Kenya, across not only KRA staff, but also the big four other tax agents. Thank you very much for joining us. We will be back in 20 minutes to begin crunching those numbers and having those discussions. Karibuni chai. Let's meet after break.
Yes. Yes. 1, 2. Yes. Yes. On 1 and 2s. On 1 and 2s. On 1 and 2s. On 1 and 2s.
I am optimistic that by the end of this 3-day forum, we will capture key insights to build a resilient and progressive system for enhancing trade facilitation and domestic revenue mobilization.
The role of technology in domestic revenue mobilization cannot be overstated. Embracing technology is essential for addressing the modern age challenges our tax administrations face.
Open dialogue and collaboration among these stakeholders fosters trust and a deeper understanding in dealing with emerging challenges and opportunities.
There's a lot of hugely successful examples, especially in the East African region, through monitoring committees of NTBs at the EAC level, but also at the national level. And if those are using that data wisely, which very often we are, then we can start to tackle those problems.
We want to start to monitor the transit from the port of where it landed first and where it is going. And so you set up the systems that everyone is speaking about here. So from my point of view, I think what we need is that bold step that we look at risk differently.
As long as you are a trusted trader, then you should be able to benefit from some of these benefits that come with technology.
The issue of infrastructure is critical, and countries can't go it individually. We need to have a pool to develop the infrastructure at the borders.
So what we're trying to do is provide the transparency and the visibility